Hello, I am Bishop Earl Boyea of the Diocese of Lansing. I invite you to join me for some brief reflections on 7 meals in people's homes where Jesus gives us some very good table talk. Just as in Galilee, where many women provided for Jesus and his band, so now on his way to Jerusalem, Martha invited Jesus to her home for a meal. Like any good hostess, she was working very hard to put on a good spread for this visiting prophet. But where was her usually very helpful sister Mary? Perhaps the most important part of hospitality is to be attentive to your guest. Mary was fulfilling that obligation. She sat at the feet of Jesus, and we are told she listened to his word, his logos. Mary could see that this was not just a stopover meal for Jesus. Rather, it was an opportunity for him to form another disciple. Recall in John's Gospel the woman at the well. Jesus thirsted for that woman, not to receive from her anything, but rather to give her living water. Mary seemed intent on drinking from that well. She was ready to receive. Martha then compounds her lack of hospitality by inviting her guest, Jesus, to settle a family dispute. "Tell her to help me," concludes our cook. Martha had set a meal plan for Jesus, which really did entail a lot of work, and she was simply not up to doing this all by herself. It is now that Jesus seeks to refocus his host. "Martha, Martha, you are anxious and worried about many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, and it will not be taken from her." Jesus was stressing what he had told the crowd when his relatives were seeking him. "My mother and my brothers are those who hear the word of God and act on it." That is the real food. My sisters and brothers, when we seek the Lord, it is not so that we can give him anything of any worth. Rather, it is so that we can receive from him living water, living bread, the living word. Even our service of him as we find him in others is intended to make our hearts and souls and minds more supple to what he wants to do in us and through us. Martha was preparing many dishes for the Lord, but Mary got the best dish of all.